This is a practice problem on free fall. We always start by writing our three equations for kinematics. Final velocity equals initial velocity plus acceleration times time. Final velocity squared equals initial velocity squared plus 2 times acceleration times displacement. Displacement equals initial velocity times time plus 1/2 acceleration times time squared. Now we read the question. You are on a planet where the acceleration due to gravity is known to be, so our acceleration in this case will be 4.18 meters per second squared. Seconds squared. You drop a ball and record that the ball takes, time is 1.80 seconds to reach the ground. How fast is the ball moving? So that would be our final velocity just as it lands. Neglect air resistance. So we have three variables here, and they're not going to match up to any of these equations because we need to have 4 variables. Each equation has 4 variables. But if we draw a picture, this is what we know. The ball starts here and we drop it. It's going to fall. So what is the ball's initial velocity? It is 0 because this is dropped from rest. So now we have our 4th variable. Now we can match it up to one of these equations. VF, yes. VI, yes. Acceleration, yes. Time, yes. So we're going to use this equation right here. So VF equals VI plus AT. Our final velocity is, we don't know. Our initial velocity is 0. Our acceleration is 4.18, and our time is 1.80. Now, this is typically the assignments, and we usually make down negative and up positive, which means our acceleration due to gravity is negative. So it would be a negative there, negative 4.81. So our VF is going to be, do some calculations. We get 4.18 times 1.8 equals 7.524. And that would be meters per second. And that is a negative. So our final velocity, we just use 3 significant figures, which is very typical, becomes negative 7.52 meters per second. And I want to talk about this for just a second before we assign this as our final answer. Should it be negative? Well, yeah, the final velocity is going down, so it should be negative. Okay? This is the correct answer for final velocity. You want to make sure that whatever choice you select out of this multiple choice assignment is as close to this answer as possible. However, the question says how fast is the ball moving? That is not a vector. That is not a velocity. That is a speed. So we can ignore the direction. So you can ignore that negative. So the answer will probably be 7.52, not a negative 7.52. But if it was asking for velocity, it would be a negative 7.52 because velocity does include direction. Whereas speed, and this sounds like a speed, this is how fast, is just the number. It's not the direction.